Hi, how's everyone? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So what you guys are going to need today, you're going to need a conical tube. You guys see your conical tube? You're going to need your three sodas. You're going to have your diet soda, your regular Pepsi, and your sparkling water. You're going to need a cell phone and your scale. Did you guys get a scale in your kit? And your Mentos. You guys see that? So if you have a tape measure, that would be great. If you don't have a tape measure, what you can do is you can use a piece of paper, and then you want to line up yourself next to something that has marking. So like for instance, my fence has marking next to it, so I'm going to line myself up to my fence, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that here in a second. Okay, so let me put that on. Let me pull up the screen real quick. Give me 1 second. And I recommend, I should say I don't recommend, you should do this outside. You don't want to do this inside. Will all you guys still have access if we go outside? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Let me fix this real quick. Sorry, I have to edit something. I forgot to put a scale. Maria, did you get your kit?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Okay, how many of you guys have large measuring cups? Everyone?
Is like a 4-cup okay?
Yeah, 4-cup is perfect. That is a really good one. I have a 2-cup. I'm going to be struggling here. So I have cookers and bakers there, huh? So I should expect a meal when I go down to Harnell. Is that my understanding? I'll let you guys know exactly what I like. I'm not picky. Okay, so let's find a space outside so we can actually do this. Hopefully you guys will still be able to hear me. Okay. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to gather all the things that you're going to need and then find a spot outside. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick afterwards. So if you want to take a screenshot, can you guys see the supplies or materials? Okay, and you also want to share your camera, right? So if you share your camera, it makes it easier. Otherwise, you're going to have to send me a link to your video. If you want to do that, that's fine too. Okay. So does everybody have everything they need? haven't even opened my scale yet. So give me a second, get my scale ready. Okay, so I'm gonna pin myself to the main page. And then I'll give you guys a second. Everybody, let me know when you're ready. When you have everything. Okay. So you guys know how to put batteries into your scale, right? Okay, so I just put batteries in my scale. So at the top of your scale, your Carolina scale, it's a cover. So that very first top part is a cover. It also can act as a weigh boat, but you probably shouldn't be using it as a weigh boat. So you want to put your scale down on the table. And then what you're going to do, you want to make sure that the mode is on grams. So it should say G. Okay. And if it doesn't say G, you want to click it till it says G. And so, and not GN, but G. Okay. G for grams.
How do I know it's on?
What was that?
How do I know if it's on?
You want to, it should actually have numbers showing already. But you want to take off the cap, the very first thing, because you'll take a look at it. Let's see. It'll look like this initially. And let me pin myself in.
I figured it out.
Sorry, it's really hard for me to see in the sunlight on my computer. Okay. So, see it? And then you take off the top part, and then that's the scale. So if you click here, there's an on and off button. So you go ahead and hit the on button if it isn't turned on. Also, you want to make sure that your batteries are in the right way if it's not turning on. Plus go with plus, minus go with minus. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to put it on a flat surface, and then you're going to hit tare, T-A-R-E. Okay, so that'll tear the scale, so it'll say 0 on it. And then what you want to do is put your conical tube with the cap on there, and you want to weigh and record the weight of your conical tube. Let me go grab the paper. Okay, so put my weight down. So I have like 14.50 grams for my conical tube. Okay, so we're going to start off with the crystal geyser or the sparkling water. I'm going to take my sparkling water. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Okay. Okay. So I just picked mine up today and it was in the car rumbling around as I was driving. So, and I drive like a maniac. So. Okay, I'm going to open up my conical tube. And on the sides, you'll see numbers. Okay, so we're going to put in 10 mils of the sparkling water. And then we're going to put it back on the scale. Okay. I'm going to put my top back on my soda because I want it to still be active. Now I put in 10 mils. Okay, so 10 mils, 10 milliliters. Okay, now when we're looking at the, I'm going to share my whiteboard real quick. So when we're looking at the volume, we want to make sure that we set it up so it's right at the meniscus. And I'm going to see. So this is my conical tube. And so you'll have numbers on the side. And then this is going to be my liquid. So my liquid is going to form a meniscus. So in other words, it's going to go up and down a little bit. So we want to make sure that the bottom of the meniscus is at 10 mils. So that will be exactly 10 mils. Okay. So the bottom of the meniscus is going to be at 10 mils. Okay, so then we're going to put the cap on it because we weighed it with the cap, and we're going to weigh it. Okay, and so we're going to get the weight of the conical tube plus the sparkling water. Okay, you guys can see mine. Stop sharing. Pen. So my value is 24.69 grams. Okay. Okay, so then let's see. I'm gonna pour my waste into my plants, but you want to just get rid of the waste. And we're gonna be pretty crude in these circumstances. So just kind of put it out and put it upside down. So then you get most of the liquid out, because we're gonna do the same thing with the sodas here in a minute. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm ready to start getting everything ready for my sparkling water and the Mentos experiment. So for the Mentos, for the sparkling water, we're only going to use 7 because at least my sparkling water wasn't a 2-liter sparkling water. Mine was it was a 1-liter sparkling water. So I'm going to take half the Mentos. So 7 would be half a pack of Mentos. 2, 6, 7. So I'm going to break my pack in half, and I'm going to keep it in the wrapping because I need a way of putting my Mentos in pretty fast and not. Okay, so I'm going to keep it in the wrapping. So I'm going to use this as a way of shooting my Mentos into my soda. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just basically get ready to put it in at the top. And so I'm going to make sure my Mentos is there. So I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to open the other end, and I'm just going to push it all the way down. And so they go in as fast as possible. Okay, and then squeeze it. Okay, are you guys with me so far? So we're going to try to take measurements of how high it goes. And then we also want to sit there and keep track of the time. So if you guys have a cell phone, or you have a little brother who has a cell phone, have them take a video of you doing it. So then that way you guys have the time that it actually happened. Okay, how long it actually took. It's going to be really fast. So you want them to start the video early, and then they'll just subtract the time lapse on the video itself. Do you have anybody that's going to be able to help you with the experiment? If not, you can just set up your camera and start the video, and then it'll record while it's happening. And that's exactly what I'm going to do because nobody's here right now.
This is for the Coke, you said, right?
What was that?
putting the Mentos into the actual Coke, right?
Yeah, but you're gonna put it in the sparkling water first. Okay, you're gonna start with the sparkling water. Okay. Okay, so you have your phone set up. Okay. So I'm gonna also orient you guys so you guys can see what I'm doing. And if you can't hear me, let me know. Okay, so as I said, you can look on my fence here. There's boards, and so I'm able to use those boards as means of determining where things actually land up. Okay, so and I can also use my cell phone when I'm doing that recording. Okay, so I'm going to put my soda here on the ground, and I want to make sure my cell phone is able to sit there and get that view. So can you guys see my soda on the ground? I guess not. Hold on. Okay, you can see the top of my soda. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start. So I'm going to go there, put my Mentos into my soda, and then I'm going to try to mark up how high it goes. Take my pack of Mentos, I'm going to open up the soda. Okay, so epic fail. At best, it just went right above it. So it has to be faster than what I've done it. So that was as I said, an epic fail there. Okay. So I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna get my next. So hopefully you guys do a better job than I did. I couldn't get it out the pack.
Mine was terrible. It got
Yours is
stuck.
terrible. And also the sparkling water is gonna be terrible anyway. Now the real one is gonna be the sodas. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna open up our sodas, and we're gonna take out, and we're gonna start off with the regular soda first, and then we're gonna go to the diet soda. This time we're gonna have to cheat a little bit because obviously trying to get them to come out is a little bit of a hassle. In the lab, I normally use a test tube, but I didn't have a test tube added to your kit. So okay, so we're gonna start again with our next soda. Okay. Okay, got my conical tube ready. Got to pour in my 10 ml. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. 10 mils. See a lot of the bubbles. You want to make sure your meniscus is right at the line of 10 mils. And then we want to make sure that we turn on our scale. We tear it, and then we put the conical tube on there with the lid. Okay, so now my conical tube is now conical tube with the Pepsi is 25 even. So it's 25.00. Okay. Okay. So let's see if I can do a better job. Now, the sparkling water, we're going to save it because we're going to take all of our volumes at the very end. So we don't want to dispose of it. We want to save that for later. So now I'm going to actually kill another one of my plants by giving it some Pepsi. And then just take that tube and put it upside down, and then we'll save that for the Diet Pepsi. Okay, so let's get ready for that the next experiment. So we're going to take a full pack of Mentos this time. Okay, and so the goal is to try to get all of the Mentos in and not get myself sprayed with soda, which is going to be a challenge because I don't have all the tools that I want. So I'm going to kind of cheat this time. I'm going to take the paper off, the outer paper. See if I can get it to work for me. And then I'm going to set up my soda. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so set up my camera and my soda. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. Did you guys see that? Okay. So I got 41 inches.
Professor, we're measuring the inches how high you went, right?
That is correct. From the top of this soda bottle to the height. So I got 41 inches for my height. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna get ready for the last one, which is the Diet Pepsi. Okay, I'm gonna put 10 mils in my conical tube. Okay, you'll see that the meniscus is right at the line. Then I'm gonna put it on my scale, make sure I have my cap on. Okay, so for my Diet Pepsi, I get 23.54 grams. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my Mentos ready for my next one. So my Mentos is ready. I'm gonna get my Pepsi ready. Okay. Okay, I got 78 inches. So now I need to calculate my times. I have to go back at my videos. Give me a second, I have to pull off my phone because it's overheating now. It's a little hot where I'm at. Okay, so we want to clean up our mess. Otherwise, your husband or your wife or your parents are going to kill you and me. Okay. So if you guys, are you guys able to see the assignment on Canvas? So you want to go to Canvas. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, so okay, so if you go to Canvas and let me know if the link is working. You should be able to see the Mentos experiment. It should have popped up. So if you go to the bottom of it, there should be a link. Okay, let me see why it's not letting me. I have to fix the link. Give me 1 second. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, so you should be able to use it now, I believe. If you're logged into your Hardnail account. So you'll only be able to use it with your Hardnail account.
Dr. Henry, it says we still need to request access to view the table.
Okay, so let me see if I can fix that. Sharing real quick. Okay, so refresh your screen and then try hitting on the link again.
It's still giving you a message you need access.
Okay, let me
Request
see.
access. Request
Okay, 1
access.
second, let me see why it's doing that. Okay, let me see. Come on now. Let's see. Edit. Okay, so try it now.
It's still giving you the same message. You need access.
Let's see. And you guys are all logged in into your Hardnell email?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it doing that? It's weird because on my other one, it didn't copy. See, copy. Let me see. Hold on. Change. Okay, I think we got it fixed now. Hold on, give me 1 second. Copy the link, then. Okay, I think it's the same link. So try it again.
Okay, it's working.
Okay, good. See, that's why it's so hard to do everything online because I think it works on my side and let's see. Okay, so what you're going to be doing, the first thing that we want to do is calculate our density, right? And so density is going to be, I'm going to use a whiteboard. Let's see. Okay, so let me pull up my whiteboard and then fix the screen. So to calculate our density, can you guys see my whiteboard? So we're going to start with the sparkling water. Do you guys see it or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with the sparkling water. So the sparkling water weighed 24.69 with the conical tube. So we're going to subtract, in my case, my conical tube weight. And actually, let me give you guys that. I'll write it up here. Conical tube. Okay, conical tube was 14.50 grams. So we're going to subtract the Diet Pepsi. I'm sorry, sparkling water, sorry. Sparkling water was 24.69. Okay, so we're going to take the 24.69 grams and subtract the 14.50 grams. So that is 10.19 grams. Okay, so then I take that 10.19 grams and I'm going to divide it by my volume. Because density is equal to mass over volume. Okay, so this is going to be my mass. So I have 10.19 grams over my volume was 10 mils or 10 milliliters. And let's do 10.0 mils. So my density of the sparkling water is going to be 1.019 grams per milliliter. Okay. Okay, for my Pepsi, plus conical, that was equal to 25, exactly, 25.00. Okay, so for Pepsi, I'm just going to use P. So that's going to be 25.00 minus 14.50 grams. So that would be 0.50 grams. So the density is going to equal 10.50 grams over 10.0 milliliters. So we get 1.050 grams per mil. Okay, and then the last case is for the diet. It was plus the conical tube. That was 23.54 grams. So for diet, I'm going to use D. So that's 23.54 grams minus 14.5 grams. That is going to be 9.04 grams. So then my density is going to be 9.04 grams divided by 10 milliliters. So then that's going to be 0.904 grams per milliliter. I ran out of room. Okay. Pretty simple so far.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so first off, I didn't even talk about the beginning part. So in the very beginning, before we got started, what did you guys think would happen? Which soda did you guys think would give you the highest explosion?
Diet.
You thought the diet?
I thought it was gonna be the diet.
You thought it was going to be the diet?
Yes.
Okay. So all of you guys thought it was going to be the diet.
I thought it was gonna be the diet too.
Really?
I agree.
Okay. So you guys, your hypothesis was right. So you guys all thought it was going to be the diet. So why did you guys think it was going to be the diet? I would have always thought it was.
Because doesn't the diet have more sugar and more things on it?
It shouldn't have more sugar, but it has more things on it. Yes, more stuff on it. Do you think that's the reason why it has more stuff on it?
That's what I think so. They say that diet soda is worse than regular soda. So that was my hypothesis, that the diet was going to go higher because of that.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. You guys are better than I am. Before doing this experiment, excuse me, I thought it was going to be the regular soda because it's natural sugar. I didn't think about all of the other components. Okay, so now that we have that data, let me write it down. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. But before we do that, I want to show you why we're doing this experiment, which I should have showed you at first. But I was just so anxious to do it, and I wanted to do it before it got dark.
I have a question. So why does the sparkling water won't react like the soda? Is it just because it's like water and has nothing else in it?
Yeah, it has just water in it. And so you don't have all of the other additives that are in there. Where like the soda, it has like phosphoric acid, it has all of the different things that it makes it, the coloring, the flavors, and all of those things. And so there are probably some other components that help things happen. Okay? So, if that's a good question, right? A lot of my other students believed that it was going to be the sparkling water because it's pure, right? It's just water. And what's making the bubbles anyway?
Isn't it just the carbonation?
It is just the carbonation. Let me save this. Okay. So I'm going to switch my view. Okay, let me pull up the lab. You guys are good. You're already thinking about. Okay, so when we do science, when we're talking about science, let's take a step back. How many of you guys have kids?
I do.
I do.
You do? Okay. How many of you guys have like little brothers, like, or cousins that are really tiny? The rest of you guys?
I have
No?
no.
What was that?
I have a nephew who's like only like 5 years old right now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now do you guys watch them and everything like that, or hang out with them quite a bit, or do you just kind of just put them in a corner?
Yeah, no, we definitely watch them, and
Okay, I would hope so, right? So do they always ask you, so why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why is, do you get those a lot?
my son just started like this week actually.
Are
The
you
why
serious?
questions. Yeah, he's 3, he's gonna be 4. So this whole week he's been like, why, mommy? But why? For every single thing.
Yes. Okay. So in science, good scientists will always start with the question, why? Why this? Why that? How? You know? Okay. So then after that, the scientist is going to do a little bit of background research. They're going to try to figure it out. So the kid is going to sit there and, you know, look around and say, okay, so the sky is blue, the water is blue, the lamp is blue, the Kool-Aid is blue, right? So there's something about all of these things that makes it blue, right? And then so they're doing their research and everything like that. And then they come up with their idea, right? Oh, so the sky must be blue because, well, mommy put sugar in Kool-Aid. So maybe, you know, God put sugar in the sky, and that's the reason why the sky is blue. So sugar makes the sky blue, right? So then their hypothesis, they've constructed their hypothesis. Sugar makes the sky blue, right? So they're thinking, so if I eat sugar, I'll turn blue, right? So then they eat a whole bunch of sugar. And then they ran across the room and bounced off the walls and everything like that, but they don't turn blue, right? So they went from that hypothesis to testing their experiment, right? Sugar makes me turn blue. Well, it may make them turn blue if they ate too much of it, right? They vomit and everything like that, but not the blue that they were thinking, right? So after that, they kind of analyzed it. Well, I didn't turn blue like the sky, so it's not sugar that causes that. Let me try something else. What else does mommy put in Kool-Aid to make it turn blue? Right? And so they are like, oh, okay, water. I'm gonna put water in me, so I'm gonna drink a whole bunch of water, and they pee everywhere. It doesn't turn everything blue, it just turns everything stinky, right? So then they go through and they test that hypothesis again. So they go through and they test that hypothesis until they kind of get an idea of what they figured out, what's going on in that case, the hypothesis, right? And then after that, after they've proven their hypothesis or disproven their hypothesis, or it's partially true, they write a report, they send it out to all their friends. Hey, I know why the sky is blue, right? Okay. So just like those kids, scientists do exactly the same thing, right? We go through this process, and this process is called scientific method. And so as scientists, as young budding scientists, you guys need to think of things in this manner. So you guys are going to be writing lab reports on the labs that we do, and you want to start constructing them in this manner, right? You should always start off with, well, we start off with a hypothesis, right? Or we'll start off with, what is the purpose of this lab? That kind of gets us to that question. Then we'll go to our hypothesis. Then we'll go to our data. We'll collect our data. That's doing that test. Then we'll analyze the results. And then we'll either prove or disprove our hypothesis. So you guys already had your hypothesis made. It's proved or disproved. Now I have another question for you guys. So you remember when we started the class, we talked about whether something is a chemical reaction or a physical reaction. Okay, do you guys think this is a physical reaction or a chemical reaction?
Would it be physical because it's like still soda at the end of the day?
Okay, so you say physical because it's still soda at the end of the day. Do you guys all agree with her? Anybody disagree?
Maybe chemical because of the residue that's left behind from the Mentos.
Hmm.
Like if they stay in there.
Oh, that's an interesting point, right? And we'll talk about that here in a second, right? So if I could, well, if I was smart, could I salvage those Mentos so they wouldn't leave that residue in our soda? Or is there a way that I could collect it at the end and reconstruct it?
No, because they dissolve, right?
Are you sure? Have you ever put like salt in boiling water and let it overboil? Don't you recover the salt at the end?
No.
You don't? Are you sure? Okay, so I want you to do an experiment. Go in your kitchen, put some salt in water and let it boil. And then let it boil completely until all the water's gone. And then I want you to, well, let it cool off first. Don't stick your hand in a hot pan. I want you to take your finger, lick it, and then wipe the little residue at the bottom, and then lick that. Tell me what that is. You gonna try it? And then you tell me, are we able to recover salt? Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I'd like you guys to do is, I want you guys to give me a hypothesis, and then I want you to think about the experiment, what went on. And think about it, if we're able to recover what's left and put it back and reconstruct that, that basically will probably mean that it's a physical reaction, right? If we're not able to reconstruct that, then we know that it's a chemical reaction. I don't know, did you guys all watch the videos or were in the lecture? And we asked you about the log burning. Is that a chemical reaction or is that a physical reaction?
Chemical.
It's a chemical reaction. Because after you burn the log, you can't get another log back, can you?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, so go through the lab, and there are a few questions in the lab, right? Primarily at the very end. Okay, you guys don't have to, I don't believe I left it in there. That would have, yes. So we also need to measure the volume of everything, right? So we need to do that as well. So you guys know how to measure volume using a measuring cup. And so I would like your volume measured in milliliters if you could get it in milliliters. But if you can't get it in milliliters, measure it in cups and we'll convert it to liters, milliliters. Okay. And we want the volume without the Mentos. So we want to make sure that we don't put the Mentos back into our solution. So use the cap to sit there and transfer it. And I'll show you that here in a second. Okay. So if we go to the data, this should be people. Okay, so what you guys want to do is give your first name and your last initial. So I'm just going to call myself Dr. Henry. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write, okay, the height of my Pepsi. Let's see, Pepsi was 41 inches. 41. So I'm just going to put the value. I'm not going to put inches because we're going to be manipulating this data. My location is Hanford. I'm in all of the sections. Okay, my time was, it was 3.2 for the Pepsi. My density was 1.050. The volume of the Pepsi. Let's measure the volume. Okay. So first off, if I want to measure the volume, and I should probably specify the volume leaving the Pepsi, okay? So how much Pepsi did I start off with? In a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi. Anyone? In a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi, what is the volume that I started off with?
$2,000 milliliters.
2,000 milliliters. That is correct, because a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi has 2 liters, and 2 liters is the equivalent of 2,000 milliliters. Okay, so what's left in my bottle is approximately 700 milliliters. So if I subtract 200 from 700, that's going to give me the volume that has left the bottle. So that would be, oh, we also took out 10. Okay, so that would be what? 710. 1, 2, 1, 2, 9, 0. So 1,290 is what left the bottle. Okay. So on Diet Pepsi,
And we can just dump it once we measure it, right?
yeah. That one's actually 600 exactly. So And we're going to add 10 mils that we also took out of it earlier. So 610. For the diet, it's going to be 1350. Let me share my screen. A little slow, sorry. Oh, there. Okay. So the height was, for the diet, was 78 inches. The time for the diet was 3.3 seconds. And the density for the diet was 0.105. Okay, and then the sparkling water. The height was, oh, I don't think it even went an inch. So it's about an inch. One. The time, it was 3.5 seconds. The density of the sparkling water. Oops, and that should be diet there. The density of the diet, of the sparkling was 1.09. And then the volume, let's see. It's pretty much the same. So it's about 60 mils that left the bottle. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to enter all your data, okay? And then next week, part of our lab, we'll be manipulating all the data that we're collecting from everybody who's done the lab, okay? And then I'll tell you guys when you guys need to save the sheet, and then we'll actually do it. So as soon as you guys do the lab, actually put your data in there, and you guys will get points that'll be added towards that data. Okay, so there'll be a thing that says, did you enter your data? That'll pop up here. Okay, questions?
For myself, since I did turn on my camera, do I still have to record myself, or am I good for the lab portion?
If you turned on your camera, right? And you, as you were doing the lab, then you're good to go, right? You don't have to include a link to your lab. But if you didn't turn on your camera, you have to include a link to your lab.
Okay. And now
Okay.
I do have a question on the lecture. I know that you added a quiz portion to it. I
Yes.
haven't been able to have it load. It's literally 3 attempts and like it takes forever to load. And
Okay.
it just says 0 seconds on everything.
It says 0 seconds on everything.
Like on mine, on the attempts, it says like score 0 and then time lapse 0.
Oh, are you
and then it
talking
says
about
3
the
attempts. The quiz portion on the lecture that you put.
on the lecture? Okay,
The
so
last
I'll
lecture
see
just
what the problem
uploaded.
is. And which browser are you using?
For your class, I use Google Chrome.
Okay, good. Okay, you may want to try to update your Google Chrome, and I'll try to see what the problem is, because I think you're the only person that's had that trouble. But I'll check to see what the other problem. It might be something else. We may have to do it a little differently. And that was with the new lecture, not the old lecture.
Yeah, the new lecture, the one just uploaded,
Okay.
the third lecture that you just uploaded.
Okay.
I also tried it on Safari, but it does the same thing. It just keeps loading.
Okay. Okay, so it could be something wrong with Studio because it's done through a Canvas app called Studio. And let me talk to my or the administrator for this class for Canvas and see if it's an issue there. If not, we'll have to change the way that we do the question for that lab. I mean, for that lecture.
Okay. Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I will see you guys later. Are there any questions or any concerns?
So when we record ourselves, are we just recording the part where we put like the Mentos in like the soda, or do we have to like record when we put it like in like the tube to like the tube as well?
No, you could really just record the part where you put the Mentos in the soda.
Okay.
That's the most important part. I want to see you guys scream and holler and run.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Okay. Okay, good. So you guys saw me scream, holler, and run, right? Okay.
Yes.
You guys are no fun, I swear. So serious. Okay, so I will see you guys hopefully in lecture. If not, you'll be seeing me in lecture. And I've got to get used to this asynchronous type of teaching. It's all new to me. It's crazy to me, you know. So, but we'll make it work. Okay. So hopefully you guys get your data up there soon. Sooner you guys get your data, the easier it'll be to manipulate it. Okay. You guys have a good week.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.